Hello, I'm Scott Bogie here with Antonio Figueiredo ahead of his upcoming fight at Fury Challenger Series 13 against Dominque Herrera. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you, Scott?
I'm doing good. And how are you feeling ahead of the upcoming fight? We are just around 3 weeks away.
I feel pretty good. You know, around this time is very important to stay disciplined and consistent with all the work, especially around this time.
Yeah.
So as far as how I'm feeling, to answer your question, I feel pretty good about everything at the moment.
And what do you feel like the game plan will be from him? Do you feel like he's going to want to keep this standing or take it to the ground?
I believe he's gonna want to keep it. I think he's gonna keep it standing, but I have been training with wrestlers just in
Yeah.
case he tries to take me down and things like that. And I also think that he's gonna want to be long. And so and I'm pretty much ready for that as well. So but for the most part I think he's gonna want to keep it standing. So
And that is a very dangerous game to play against you. Your free fights, free wins, free knockouts, free first round finishes. How does that feel?
it feels pretty good, man. It'd be nice to add another one into the books, but
Yeah,
but currently, like I said, when I'm fighting, I'm really not looking for the finish. They have been presenting themselves,
yeah.
and you know, and it's gonna be the same thing here. I'm not gonna look for the finish, but if it presents itself, I'm gonna go ahead and take it. So as far as how it feels to have three finishes in a row, first round, it feels pretty good.
And not only are they first round, your first one was in 55 seconds. Your last one was in 20 seconds. How does it feel to be able to get the win within that first minute?
That feels really good, especially as a 25er. Not only
Yeah,
that, if you have watched all my amateur fights, or if you can, if you just look up online, you see that I went to decisions, all of
yeah.
them. And so the fact that I'm able to finish guys within a minute, it feels surreal. It feels really weird, and I'm very grateful for I'm grateful for getting them. I feel fortunate to be in the position that I was able to drive myself into.
Yeah, exactly. And you did have quite an active year last year. You did get free fights in. You made your pro debut. What is this year got in store? What are you wanting to achieve?
This year I plan to achieve the same thing, just staying as active as I can. And
Yeah.
honestly, to be quite honest with you, I'd like to get picked up by the Contender Series this year. And if I can make that happen, I feel like I'd be the man of the year, honestly. That's my a long-term goal. So, and I feel like I'm getting closer.
Exactly, and keep putting on those first round stoppages, and they will be taken into notice. And I think with
Yeah.
Fury, that is the best promotion for if you are wanting to stay active, they will help you in that process. Because just in this card alone, you have Lester Batter Jr., who is coming off of a defeat last month in March. And then you also have got Mika White, who was supposed to fight in March, but his opponent didn't even show up. So if you are wanting to have those fights, the organization will help you in that. How good is it to be able to have a promotion that is helping you support your goals and getting you the fights as often as you want?
It's really good, man. I've been with Fury since I was a kid. They've known me for a very long time,
Yeah.
so I have a great relationship with Fury. And just having that report with them and that relationship, and knowing that I can stay active under them, it feels really good. I have nothing bad to say about that, and it's always good doing business with Fury. So
And I
yeah.
think that's the real difference between Fury FC and somewhere like the PFL, where you have a lot of multiple fighters going about their business on social media now because they can't resolve it behind closed doors. You have the champion Patchy Mix, you had Pitbull before he was released, you have Pico before he was released, Corey Anderson, who are just wanting to have fights, but the organization aren't supporting that. Do you feel like that is
Right.
where they are having that not being able to get to that next level because they could put the champions on their cards.
Yeah, 100%, man. Because like fight us fighters, we want to be active,
Yeah,
we want to be active and we also have to depend on the promotion. And if they're not active, it jeopardizes our job as a fighter. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
then I feel like with Fury, I think they're having about two, in a
like
month, probably like two
yeah,
shows or something like that, right? Which is sometimes even three, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but I'm for sure they have about two shows in a month, which is pretty cool, man. It's a very it just shows you that like every month, every other month you can fight if you want to get into it, or even every
yeah.
month, depend on how your fight goes. You know what I mean? So it's a good I feel like it's a good place to be in. The fact that I live here in Houston, it makes it even easier for me.
And it is
Yeah.
starting to now show in the ranks in the UFC that Fury is starting to break through there. Just yesterday, you had Diego Lopez, fighting for the featherweight belt, who have had a fight in the Fury. So they are now starting to not just get into the UFC, starting to fight for the titles. How big do you feel like Lopez was to be able to help Fury push through that next level, to be able to have someone fight for the title from that organization?
Hey, that feels pretty good, man. It's just especially for us regional fighters, like
Yeah,
we see somebody that have fought in the same organization as us and they're able to get all the way up to the championship level in a span of 2 years. That is amazing, and that just gives us more hope, more confident that we if they can do it, we can also do it as long as we have a great game plan and we successfully executing all of it. But yeah, to answer your question, seeing Diego Lopez being where he's at, it's a motivation, and yeah, we're very grateful to have that type of being able to see that, have that type of experience here in theory. So it's pretty cool.
and I think it was Fury 100. I think it was. The flyweight title was on the line for you guys between
Yeah.
Paris Morin and Alden. What did you make of their fight?
Like, what did I think about that fight?
Yeah,
I thought it was a good fight. It was I'm actually friends with both, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So but yeah, I thought it was a good fight. I think yeah, like it was I didn't know it was gonna finish the way it did. I thought it was gonna be very competitive. And I'm not to be quite honest with you, I was very surprised of how it ended. But hats off to Alden Korea, being to be able to do what he's done. You know what I mean? That was very impressive, and yeah, that's what I thought about it. It was an impressive performance, and so yeah, that's my intake into that fight.
and obviously you are looking for that contender series slot. But if that wasn't to come, do you feel like one or two? So after this fight, maybe one more fight, and then you can start trying to get that title fight, or
As far as yeah, for sure. For me is so I think with Fury, in order to have a title fight, you're supposed to have over 8 fights, if I'm not like you're supposed to have at least 8 fights. So let's just say I have like 5 fights in my book. I don't in my record. I don't think I qualify to fight for the belt, but at the same time, I do know that they make exceptions here and there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So maybe I could be. I don't know. Maybe I could be an exception for them to be able to compete for the fight. I mean for the title. You know what I mean? So but yeah, that's what I know about it. So as far as the title, I'm not really eyeing too much on that. I really want to be in the contender series this year, but if the opportunity presents itself, I will definitely take it.
Now, your last fight was in December the 15th. What has been your biggest improvement since then to now?
My biggest improvement, I would say, is my discipline. That's one thing that I always try to work on. Just being more disciplined, being more consistent. And ever since then into now, that's what I've been making sure of that. So I would say my discipline, just staying on task and being focused and following game plans, and things like that. Uh, I feel like I'm doing it way better now than before. So
Well, that sounds great. And if once you get, I was about to say if, it's not if, when you get the victory, how are you going to celebrate?
Yeah, that's the favorite thing. That's my best. That's the best part, honestly. So usually when I win, all my friends and family that we all gather together and we go to a restaurant. We usually go to Gringos or we go to like a wings place or something like that. And we just have a good time and we eat, we drink, and just talk about the fight and just being around friends and
Yeah.
families is it's the best feelings ever, you know what I mean? So that's actually what I'm looking forward to, just being done with the fight and go out there and celebrate with my friends and family. So
Now
yeah.
I'm guessing because you've had that weight cut, you're just going to go in there and just order everything off the menu. I'll just have
You
one
already
of
know.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. I might as well just go ahead and I might as well just buy the entire restaurant. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you definitely deserve it. Get that bonus check.
Yeah.
And obviously the UFC flyweight division, that is got the most talking about bit just now. Who is next for the title for Pandora? What do you think should happen there? You also have Manuel Cape who just got that victory. You have Moreno who just came off the victory against Urzik. Kai Kara France. What do you think should be next?
To be honest with you, man, I feel like Manuel Cape should get the title next, in my opinion. Especially after I know it was controversy on his last performance.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the dude is legit. He looked really good in that performance, and I feel like he's ready to take on the he's ready to challenge for the belt, in my opinion. So Moreno has been there, done that multiple times. I feel like it's time to put new faces out there, and I think he's the perfect guy to put in there at the moment. So yeah, I'd go with Manuel Cape at the moment.
And how do you
So
think that fight would pan out against the champion? Because obviously he does look unbeatable just now.
right, exactly. To be honest, I gotta go with Manuel Cape on that one. Just because of his explosiveness and his ability to defend takedowns is really good. And I feel like on the feet he's better than Pantoja. And if Pantoja cannot get him to the ground, I think it's gonna be a bad night for him. I feel like he's made a lot of improvement on making sure to not get taken down. You can tell that by his last performance. And if Pantoja cannot get him down, it's just gonna be a bad night for him, I feel like. So honestly, I think if they fight for the belt, I can see Manel Cape winning that title. So yeah,
And
what's
how,
your thoughts on that one?
I think Pangelo will probably be able to get him down there and be able to submit him. And
Yeah, nice, fair enough.
you take a look at the Makayev fight, he was able to get him down there on there. So I
Yeah.
just can't see the champ losing that title anytime soon. What do you feel like with your last fight? Also, it was on the main card. It was on the UFC Fight Pass. How did that make you feel to be able to get on there?
Uh, it felt pretty good because I feel like with my skills, and I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, but
No, yeah,
I feel like with my skills, I deserve to be in the UFC fight on the UFC fight pass,
yeah,
right? Like I finished my first three fights in the first round, and I feel like those are performances that should not be wasted. In the undercard, I feel like it should get recognized. It deserves to
yeah.
be recognized. And so on my last fight being on the main card, it felt really good, and knowing that my work is actually being televised and things like that. So it feels pretty dope, man. So yeah.
And am I correct in saying that you're currently still training out of war?
Yes, for sure. I'm definitely training at World Training Center. Yes, sir.
And how has that environment been so far?
It's good. It's a good environment. It's I get hard rounds there. I'm getting beat up in practice. If you're getting beat up in practice, that's where you need to be. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So yeah, so for sure it's a good. I know I'm in a good room because my practices aren't easy. I'm always challenging myself and things like that. With that being said, it's been great. You know what I mean? It's been great. I'm always growing every time I practice. There's always something that I feel like I have to work on and things like that. So if I'm always questioning myself what I need to do, I feel like I'm in a good room.
And has there been anything so far in a fight which has really surprised you? Like, I know some fighters, they like to talk shit while in the cage. Has there been anything like that? I know the only fight I've gone past the first round was that second fight for you against Drake Lopez. But have you noticed anything so far?
Yeah, so with so I'm very I'm a nice person, honestly, like I haven't I guess I just give good energy out there. I haven't really encountered
Yeah.
any bad blood with any fighters, which is good for me. I'm okay with that, but if guys want to bring in the smoke, I can also back that up, you know what I mean? But as of right now, I haven't encountered anything like that. I'm not sure if Dominque Herrera will try to intimidate me, or I'm not sure if he's gonna do that. But if he is, that's I'll be okay with it. I'm not really gonna worry about it. As a matter of fact, to answer your question, better, I've encountered in the amateurs when I fought
Yeah.
Baba Picard in Arkansas. He was sizing me up at the weigh-ins. He was talking crap and all of that, but it definitely didn't end up well for him. So, but yeah,
And then you have also, during your amateur days, you had that fight with Joshua Van. Unfortunately, it didn't go your way, but
yeah.
how good is it being able to see his progress, being able to see him do his thing in that UFC stage?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and he's doing an amazing job out there. And I actually root for him. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
what's it called? And the fact that I had a close fight with him, that also gives me a lot of confidence that I'm there. I just gotta put my work out there and show the world what I can do to be able to get there as well, right? So, but yeah, it's good to see him. It's good to see him winning. It's good to see him succeeding. And hey, nothing but good things for him. And I don't have anything negative to say about Josh Van. I would say keep doing what he's doing. He's doing pretty good. So yeah.
exactly. And I'm going to give you a blank canvas. Now, how are you going to get Herrera out there? You can choose anything from a spinning wheel kick to a Peruvian necktie. What is your highlight reel finish?
Against Herrera, how do I see
Yeah.
myself finishing him? Uh,
Then
I
does if
think
you have anything.
I think I'm gonna get him with I don't know, it might be a kick, I don't know. It might be a kick, but I'm definitely I can see him getting him with kicks. So I think I might be able to stop him with a head kick or something like that, just because of how he lands and things like that. Like
Yeah.
the way he moves, I feel like I'll be able to catch him with a head kick or something like that. But if not, I got other ways that
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch him by. But yeah, but my prediction would be by a head kick or something like that.
Well,
So yeah,
make sure you guys tune into the UFC Fight Pass on April the 27th. You'll be able to watch Antonio get the head kick knockout and be able to go up, improve to 4-0. Is there anything you're wanting to add or anyone you're wanting to shout out?
yeah. I just want to say thank you for all my sponsors that have been able to help me throughout this camp, and all my teammates that have been able to be there for me and making sure that I put in the work. And also my coaches making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and the people around me in general, everybody take checking on my well-beings and things
Yeah.
like that. I just want to say thank you for everybody, and yeah, man, that's pretty much it. That's what I have for everyone. So
Well,
yeah,
that sounds great. Make sure you tune in. It's a fight that you do not want to miss. Thank you so much.
let's get it. Awesome, man. Appreciate you, Scott.